welcome to our session today on how to work past our BA team leader at EPAM here, Mikhail Bakhrakh. So this session is going to be recorded. I'm here to help with the questions and everything. Please feel free to post in the chat. We will have a small present for the best questions, so please don't post them anonymously if you are in for a nice present. Also, we encourage you to continue the discussion further on the community platform, and I will be sharing the links later. And no longer stealing the floor here. Mikhail, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Let me start. Yeah, my name is Mikhail Bakhrakh, and today our talk is about patterns of work, or as I call it initially in this topic, how to work 5 hours per day with 12 hours velocity. Let's start with agenda. So today we will go through a little bit warm up. We'll look at what is patterns of work, what I call it, how I call it, what do I mean, and so on. We will look at the values and practical concepts, and we check one area of use, like how to be faster, with a couple of examples, and then we will check takeaways, and we'll have questions and answer session. So let's start with warm up. I was trying to put information on slides just to everyone could see if something missed in my talk. But first slide is about why you should listen to me. Just to highlight my experience in delivery, I would segment it in two areas: delivery and contribution. And if you talk about delivery, I'm working already about 8 years in business analysis across different large enterprise level projects like greenfield, business transformation, or engineering types, reversal engineering, with average duration of projects from 6 to 18 months and more. And regarding teamwork, I was working with up to 12 people as my BA team, and I was working as lead and part of from 30, I think, to 150 people project team. And I was working on different level of internet, and I'm working now and was working on different level of artifacts like the sales decks for RFI, from top to bottom, requirements definition, business requirements, data model, functional and UI requirements, and waterfall and agile as well. Regarding my contribution experience, I would divide it into two areas, like the business analyst practice ongoing improvements. I was implementer of such as discovery framework tool that helps business analysts to like guide for business analysts how to conduct discovery, what artifacts are needed, what steps, what actions, what sources, what inputs, what outcomes. And last one, business analysis CV or curriculum vitae or a resume guide, how to create perfect looking resume of a business analyst. And for sure, I'm participant of main business analyst community initiative within my company. I'm working in EPAM company. Regarding BA care mentoring, business analyst care mentoring sphere, I am mentor of L2, L3 business analysts, that is middle or senior business analyst and technical interviewer programs. And also I'm technical interviewer and expert for external and internal candidates assessment. That's shortly about me. What about this topic and why does it make sense to listen for audience? So throughout my career and my work as business analyst for last 8 years, often I see and face during the projects or even everyday life of BA, and not only BA, I see some concerns and some signs that worrying me, and my personal intuition to solve these issues, solve these questions, and different situations. Like, you know, we all, I think, faced with such, like, you're asking someone, colleague, like, can you do that, or we need to complete this task, and you got answer like, oh, sorry, I'm overloaded, I do not have time for this, for that, across my current day, or for this week I'm totally overloaded, I cannot even allocate to you 10 minutes, sorry, do not bother me for now. Or, you know, like, that is regarding uh, capacity or workload for particular person, or if you're talking about some collaborative or team buildings, team meetings, like we have situations, I faced with situations when meetings scheduled for 60 minutes and with 10 or 15 minutes, 10 or 15 people, whereas only in fact 3 or 4 participants are needed, and even perhaps 15 minutes could be enough to discuss all questions we need. But we just have this meeting and do not analyze was it really needed or it could be reduced significantly. And you can see at the bottom on the left corner this, you know, a little bit funny slide, like if you want to hold it, if you want to see people, take a cup of coffee and just listen to someone, hold a meeting, that is practical alternative to work. But for sure, I think most of us do not do this. And when people spend a lot of personal activities, meetings and so on during their day, and sometimes spend 10 or 11 even, I mean, outside of normal working day, like 8 hours outside of this time, their work time per day, and then they see results or outcome, they just feel disappointment when it has low outcome at the very final stage. And in this topic, I would like just to provide and to share my practices, how I'm eliminating for myself these scenarios, and also how I'm supporting everyone everyone around me, not only business analysts, but entire team, because we always working, like, you know, for particular project, and we all just one unified, we just one team to deliver best result. Before we start digging into details, I just decided to provide some practical, let's say, I call it entertainment task for us. Here's a real practical business case I faced with, I don't know, maybe last year in 2019, somewhere like that. And here I've posted input information, and at the end of this session, during the questions and answers part, we can look at the possible solutions that you will offer, and what was the solution that I really applied for this scenario. So, for example, that is a real business case. I was participated in pre-sales project that just started, and I'm a person who should gather information about initial scope and to aggregate all this information in some first draft pre-sales deck, then will be the source for discussion with the entire team. And I am, or you, if you are simulating this situation, you just find out that solution architect who is assigned to this team, to this pre-sales team, in fact has no capacity, and he just rejected participation, said, sorry guys, really totally overloaded with current activities, have a key role in this project, in other project I cannot participate. And question here, what would your next steps to close this problem with solution architect support in the fastest way? What would you do if it will be your task? We consider it your task. Also, just as add-on, if you have right now any real challenges in your work, and we'll have time at the end of the session during the questions and answer session, let's discuss and find great solutions. So let's start with intro. Patterns of work. What I call as the patterns of work in my work and how it correlates with the topic that I'm presenting here now. So in my world, every person who is working using some algorithm of actions, and it could be actions planned, or it could be not planned, just occasionally appeared, or it could be planned occasionally. And consistently planned algorithm of steps and the process of execution of the steps by this algorithm for me means that the execution of the steps will be more valuable, effective, productive, faster, or any other metric than we will have without plan. Otherwise, why should we use plans? And what I'm nailing down here, that patterns of work term is my philosophy or algorithm or mindset that ideates how any action should be performed in the most efficient way. And it's like a plan that I mentioned earlier, like for some actions, but not created for one-time purpose. It is pattern. So you're not creating just to do it right now, forget about that, then I will just think what I need to do for my next set of activities and so on. And to create plan and execute it in an efficient way, in productive way, it's not so easy just to type it from scratch. And for what I'm using some patterns of work values, and I'm using these patterns every minute of my life, every hour while I'm working, or even while I'm with my family, or I'm doing my personal duties and so on. And I would like to introduce these values on the next slide. If briefly, these are 5 values that I've elicited for myself, and for sure, just wanted to highlight that this term patterns of work and this values that is not something I gathered from books or from other articles. That is just purely my understanding of my format of work, and I even could say my life. And these patterns and these values I've put here, like plan and purpose, track. So in the middle we have actions, because everything in our world, everything in our work is an action. Whatever you will do, you will come to work, that is action. You will plan something, that is the action. You will execute some tasks, that is the action. You will analyze, elicit, make discovery, that is a set of actions. So everything goes around actions, and around these actions, I elicited 5 values, like plan and purpose, structure your action, plan and purpose your actions, structure your actions, execute your actions as a pattern, execute your actions and be calm and clear, and value your time when you're planning or executing your actions. We'll dig into details on the next slide into each of these values. And yeah, what I'm not completing here, it's that is all these values I put here, just going through my mind, how I'm executing any task, any activity during my day. I do not just think what I should involve here or implement here just to understand what is the right, what is the not. I just go through my mind and think, okay, I get this task, what should I do? What my way of thinking to execute this task more productively, more efficiently, with less time. Let's jump to the next slide. Yeah. And also regarding intro part, some maybe funny, maybe not, example of how I was planning and using or trying to use values, even for some non-standard situation I faced with and was happening with me, for example, in 2016. So the life case is I have a business trip with my family to Ecuador, in Quito City, And some period of time during this business trip, we were on the 12th floor with my family, and Ecuador had a hardest, toughest earthquake with 7 and 8 magnitude on April 16th in the last 30 years. And of course, we ran out to the street, and the next algorithm, the next thoughts, ideas that came into my mind, it was maybe strange, but it was, oh, I need additional 2 months to execute discovery phase on this project in on site. What should I do what are my next plans for this discovery phase? And, like standard ways or some of other options could be like request the same day, request tickets back to home immediately because I'm with my family, but to lose all benefits of on-site work, request to work from home from particular apartment just to be with my family, but for on-site that is strange, or take temporary vacation just to say to my management, let's wait a couple of weeks to feel calm ourselves and then we'll continue. But it was also strange for on-site activities. My solution was simple. I just sit, analyze, structure my thoughts, and just think what will be the most calm scenario for me and intuitively clear, and I will be also feel confident regarding my family. So before this earthquake, we were living on 12th floor, and you can see on the left side a photo from our apartment. And solution was just on the next day, I came to my project manager at the morning and said, sorry, I'm just I wanted to ask you move me to another apartment, not too far from our office and not too high than second floor. And solution was here's on the right side view from my apartment after earthquake. There is a second floor, and it was about 15 minutes from our customer's office. So if any urgency, I can just jump and run to my family. Of course, this was aftershocks, some aftershocks after earthquake, but not too high. That was the solution. So let's jump to particular values. All values I structured in the following way. The 3 parts. First part is life case explanation. So how I would and I'm applying these values in my everyday life outside working activities. Then I put explanation, and then I put practical real business case scenario, how I apply this particular value. The reason of that, because when you're looking at the life case, we all, I assume we could get all shared understanding what was the purpose and what is the benefit of this and so on. Whereas if maybe when I will explain some business practical case studies, it could be just some discrepancy between understanding of different participants. But I'm sure there will be not such thing. I was trying to create it maximally simple. So let's start with life case, and first value, I call it like structure on this slide. That is first orange round circle structure. And for structure, I call it like train yourself to structure your every action. That is really, for me, it's important. Just do not do action, but to structure this action. And the life case is the following. One day, I think, how could I grow outside work tasks? I mean, outside my working activities, not something within project or a BA initiatives within my company and so on. And then I just did not decide okay, I will start reading a book. That's it. No, I'm just structured my thoughts and actions I want to understand, select, prioritize, and provide correct order. And here's the example. I structured and what topics are on my list could be defined and why. What could be priority set and why, and when and how I can execute these actions to grow myself personally. Of course, within my professional domain, yeah, for sure. And then I structured in more detailed level, on the next level, like what topics are on my list. Okay, that is BA competency, like, get expertise on best practices that commonly used, like delivery domain, expertise on most popular tendencies in IT delivery, what are methodologies most popular, and so on. And for sure, digital technology for future. And here, for those, short notice for topic, for those who are participating in our puzzle game, please consider word in bold and underlined as part of this puzzle game on this slide and at number 1/3 bullet. So, and of course, digital technology of future, that is expertise of most growing for IR, that is fourth industrial revolution, digital tracks, like uh, uh, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, data warehouses, big data, and so on. And then some next level of details for each topic I've made. Regarding priority, I just make analysis. So, okay, first and second are most grounded and relevant for my current domain for short and mid-term horizons, let's say time horizons. I mean, for next 3 months, or for next month, or for next couple weeks. And third item, like digital technology, of course, that is next priority item for long-term horizon, because first I don't know when I should apply and when I will apply this expertise for particular practical use in particular project. But at the same time, it's very interesting, and there is a tendency across all IT industries, and not only IT, and some next level priority of priorities for due dates and outcomes that I will get with it. So I prioritize it like, okay, for first and second, for me, it's more important. Third one is less importance. And when and how to execute these actions. I structure it. Okay, I need to allocate time and execution in the simplest way for me. Okay, I'm just thinking, what time do I have to spend without any harm or without any bad consequences for me regarding my work or my personal life? And I just found out, okay, I have 3, let's say, time slots when I'm not doing anything, when I'm going to work, when I'm doing lunch on my work, and when I'm going from work. Okay, and then the final one, almost final one, was for me to distribute items I'm selected according to priority within this time slot. So, for example, okay, I've spent about 30 minutes, not today, of course, in current situation, but 3-4 months ago, I spent 30 minutes to go from my home to my office. And during this time, I can just read or listen next area for improvements. For example, CBAP, Certified Business Analyst Professional, themes, or again, read the book, guide, and understand what is the values and be prepared for the certification. During the lunch, I can use for professional growth paths, like how to be product owner or how to use less methodology or a SEF. And when I'm going from work, I'm just using this time for personal learning of new tendencies like convolutional neural network or machine learning. These all items in round brackets are real items that I was using, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 months ago, maybe earlier in reality. And what is the explanation or outcome or I wanted to bring here? So anything structured leads you to confidence in what outcome you will get for any action or for set of actions. And This structure justifies and shows to you consistency and validity of any action. So you just structure it and you get what you need. Let's jump into the business case for this structure value. So real business case. I structure everything everywhere across my daily, weekly, monthly job and my planning. And one of patterns I'm using, for example, for daily tasks and status tracking is the following. I'm creating, you can see the screenshot from my everyday Microsoft tasks object. I just create a new task every day, or in fact, I'm copying from previous day and removing completed items. Okay, for August 12th, I was having the following tasks, and that is my also it's very useful that I having all tasks completed in any time of cross years of my work within particular company for sure, because Outlook is linked to particular profile. I can recover, I can find out any task I was completing 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and I can say to any person what I was doing exactly on this day. So here I have my name of my task, like major tasks. And what interesting here, yeah, regarding structure. Of course, I have structure of bullets for my tasks with different levels of structure. Also, additionally, I have color scheme. For me, it's very useful. I just use blue color to highlight tasks that are assigned not to me, but to some person should execute this. And for example, I need to control this person. I need to control not this person, sorry, but execution and completeness of this task. It's important for me. So I'm using this task and I know that some guy, John, Mike, should do this task, and I'm not worrying about execution of this task, but I'm just worrying about completion. For example, on daily calls, on weekly calls, I can ask, okay, what is the status? Another one, green status. So it's pretty simple, yeah, it's just done in green, but also useful. I have a list of tasks and I see, okay, done. Okay, what is done? I should not pay attention to this. I just, at the end of my working day or during my working day, I just completing task and put this label like done. Okay, it's done. And as it's the same, like you can see, I've assigned 2 tasks. I have 2 tasks assigned to someone, and they should clarify it. I'm not worrying about these tasks. Another level of color scheme and structure is red color. I'm just marking such task as top priority task. In that case, when I'm looking at the morning on all tasks I need to complete, for example, 3, 4, 1, 3, from 3 to 9, that is important for me. That is my daily planned tasks, but also understand that number 10 is a first priority item. When I open my task in Outlook, I jump directly to this task and reading and processing, planning the appropriate actions for this task. And also I have, for example, yellow colored scheme, and I am marking with yellow in progress tasks. Usually these are tasks that I'm marking in progress at the beginning of my day, just to understand, when you have, for example, 10, and usually as a lead BA, I have noted 20, 30 tasks different. And at the beginning of the day, I'm just defining what I should put on the top of my list. And then I should track that and process it across my day. The simplest way, just put it in yellow, and in such way, yellow color every hour of my day will show me what I should work on next. For example, okay, I'm working with discuss with team. Analysis of scope without integration was done, and I discuss it with team. That is my next item. Sorry. That's it actually. That is just one of business case and patterns that I'm using to structure my every action. Values of that, just, you have simplest notes format. For time's sake, I'm not talking about some more sophisticated tools that create some list with checkbox and rearranging items in drag and drop style and so on. For me, it's also okay. I'm just using something that like Notepad, I can quickly in 2 minutes type in and start working. History of tracking, what, when, by whom, in what status. I mean, when I copy this task to the next day and deleting done items, I can see scope of work I should plan or analyze on the next day. And of course, I see current status of tasks and responsible persons. If I have any meeting with my colleagues, I will ask, okay, John, what about number third, make payment concept? Or if I have management meeting, I will say, okay, we are working on make payment concept, and this number 5, 6, I will just announce it, send mail or rule to prohibit payment was completed. It's okay. I think that's it. Let's go to the next value. Next value sounds like plan and understand purpose of your every action. It's also important, and I love the Abraham Lincoln phrase or quote, like if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. So in my world, in my work, there are, I would say, even often appear cases when I can spend 15 minutes for planning of my working day or some activity, but also I can spend 30 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes just to plan my working day. But then this working day will be very efficient. And here's a live case. For example, for some purpose, I should get documents for travel or to another country for my family. And to travel with my family, I should gather some pack of documents, some amount of documents. And here we also understand, so for sure I'm here applying like my structure value to create the structure, what should be done and how, but also I'm planning and understand the purpose of each item. Like, what is the way of getting dogs? What are delivery options I have? What will be the purpose of that and benefits? What options I need to select, like time frame based price. For example, I can get dogs in 2 weeks, but it will cost me $5,000, or I will get dogs in 1 month, but it will cost me $500. What dogs I need, like dog types, passport, some certificate, education diploma, and so on, prerequisites and tickets booking and prerequisites docs preparation, and what I need, what appointment I need, like submit documents, receive documents from someone. And for each one, I'm trying always to understand purpose. What is the reason? For example, okay, I need to get docs, but what will be the cost of that? Okay, and purpose. For example, if I get docs in 2 weeks, will it really helps me if, for example, some other teams that involved in this travel from company side, for example, expecting these docs for me in 1 month, or they also have some delays. All these factors I am analyzing usually. And a couple points I want to bring here, like within you can see explanation section. I would very recommend no rush for planning fractions. So plan and understand purpose. It always, like stable process when I'm sitting and understand, okay, I should do that, that, and that, and I will get this outcome. And do not hesitate to allocate time you need for this planning, and to just to in future it will give you real benefit and value to exclude this all suddenly all blockers and bottlenecks that could appear later. And next item I highlighted here, plan with value and purpose. Yeah, plan everything you need with value and purpose regarding any context metrics. I mean, like in my live case example, context metrics, I mean like price, time I need for that, people I need to bring here, and difficulties I can face here with, and so on. And just to plan it, otherwise you can get a poor outcome of these actions and get some delays in my particular case, for example. Look at the business case I had earlier in my career. Again, discovery phase, for me it's important team. I was flying, it was not Ecuador for sure, yeah, it was Alaska. So that was discovery phase, and I was flying to customer as lead BA for internet stream. And it happens that while I was flying, my manager called me and say, I cannot remember, manager or maybe solution architect called me and said, sorry, but we lost our BA for TV stream and you should lead the stream as well. And the reality is I had only 8 hours, I think, or something like that, to be prepared for absolutely new stream for me. And I was flying somewhere from, I don't know, from Amsterdam to Seattle, then with transition to Anchorage, and I got this information. And plan and understand purpose, I was not rushing just, okay, I need to work out, I need to research this TV stream, what is it about, what should the best practice in it, and so on. I just sit down, already was sit down in my plane, and just think, okay, I need to be prepared, and I have about 8 hours of, let's say, working time, besides my sleeping time and these transitions between planes and so on, and transition on taxi to hotel and to the customer. I have about 8 hours left for stream, where person at least spent 2 weeks for preparation with discovery, for discovery. Okay, then I'm just thinking, okay, in fact, I can use this time for the very first meeting, because yeah, I have it on the next day. I have a meeting with customer to present this TV stream, and I'm just thinking I have 8 hours, not about all scope of TV stream, but about one particular first kickoff meeting. And so the agenda of this meeting is a scope that I should be prepared for in these 8 hours. And then, as you can see on this, let's say, diagram, my way of thinking, just thought, okay, I need slide deck or presentation for this agenda, and I need to have it in 8 hours. And the very final was that, okay, for me, it's now, once I plan and understand the purpose of action required from me, the discovery phase, just to select and sustain or support the level of details I can do in this 8 hours. So I was not planning to prepare something more than that I need more than 8 hours to prepare it. I just do the appropriate level of details according to what I planned and what was the purpose of it. Then I was planning, take taxi, go to hotel. From hotel, it's 3 a.m. I was sleeping a little bit, and at 8 a.m. I was going to my first meeting with the customer, and the result was pretty well. It was, of course, it was not fantastic meeting, or I was some meeting but it was productive enough to get customer, feel that, okay, this guy, this expert came to us and will lead and drive our TV stream and TV stream artifacts the right way, and to start customer engagement in discovery phase. Let's jump to the next item. That is a value, I call it holistically clear, and to be holistically clear and intuitively calm about every action you planned or executing. It could sound something like psychological thing, but in fact, in reality, it's really what I'm using always. I'm just listening to myself and feeling how I feel. Sorry for this terminology term. And if you talk about life case example, shopping with my wife. Okay, we just plan for weekends, go to make shopping and buy anything she need. And when we go to shopping mall, she go through different guests and so on, and said, okay, I think I want to buy this and this and that, and we stay in one shop, and she just taking things, goods, and say, okay, I want this t-shirt, I want this coat, and so on. And as usually shop assistant, at least in my experience, what I see, he says always like, oh, that's a really good thing, please do not think, just take it, it's exactly for you, it suits you very well, and so on, these usual words. And it takes time, 5, 10, 15 minutes. My wife just take 1, 2, 3, 4 clothes and said, oh, I've selected this. And the thing she takes me always to this, let's say, event, like shopping, because I do not wear like this shopping for my wife. I don't know. Because she always asked me, what do you think? And one of my questions to her usually like, do you feel inside you, like clear and calm with this thing, or this thing with these clothes, or are you just listening to this shop assisting? And she just take a pause for 1-2 seconds, say, okay, you're right, I will take this one short, that's it. We pay and go out. So what is the outcome explanation from you for that? I'm always using my intuition and feeling of happiness in the first place. I mean, when I'm doing something, I'm trying to understand deeply inside me, like, I'm satisfied with that or not. And if I'm not satisfied, I'm just thinking what I should do additionally to feel myself, myself comfortable. And happiness of planning things regarding order, priority, or severity, etc. And per my experience, these techniques of listening your intuition and your internal feelings almost always comes back to you at the end of your set of actions, let's say, in working environment. Like, you get some sudden questions from someone and you understand, okay, good that I process this in that way. And just note regarding holistically clear, what I mean in simple words, that is like, I'm always using this term, I mean, in my mind, to feel myself very clear about purpose or value of actions that I'm executing. So If I can explain, for example, everything regarding actions that I'm executing, I'm holistically clear. I know everything about everything. No concerns from me to me regarding action I'm planning to execute, or I'm executing, or I am executed. Let's jump to business case. So again, I'm just noticed that I'm always preparing. I've prepared something regarding always regarding discovery, some discovery. But that is the nature, I think, of business analysis. The main important part is discovery in our work. One of the main important, most important. So I had I had to be prepared. I had to be prepared a discovery plan for long-term fixed price project, and I was asked to prepare a BA team resource plan and also enumerate scope of current project for BA team for fixed price project. And at the same time, that was my first opportunity to be a lead BA and my first task even before I start leading. So just one person came to me and said, okay, I want to see plan from you because I want to assign you to project as lead BA. I do not know anything about you. Please prepare it. And regarding holistically clear and intuitively calm value, I prepared high-level plan and some details and just asked myself, how do I feel myself? And I think I'm not happy. It's high level, it's good for management maybe, but personally me, not satisfied. I prepared medium level plan of activities and again asked myself, I'm happy or not? I was not happy. And then I prepared low level detailed plan in hours for 6 months horizon for work of our BA team that will be work with me and type of activities we will be executing. And then I asked myself, how do I feel myself? I feel myself great. So I complete the section just to feeling myself. And just recap regarding this business case. Here I put some examples that I polished my results using my intuition and understanding of each tiny piece of work that could make me feel comfortable. Personally, me, for example, I was doing team estimation, like how much business analyst I need, what will be the skill coefficient, basic capacity with skill coefficient applied, and so on. And that is one level of granularity. Another level, like what type of activity we should execute, like make product offerings, prices, rules, how much time it will take, and so on. And on completion, I feel myself very calm and I feel no concerns from my side regarding level of details or tasks that I completed. And as I mentioned earlier, very often your personal confidence returns to you back in different scenarios. And later on, project manager of this project came to me and said, okay, could you explain me this plan you prepared and you're asking for 5 business analysts and you will complete in 6 months. Could you explain me on the detailed level why? And as I was clear and calm about action I completed, I just said, okay, I can explain it to you. And I just provided to him an additional not screenshot, but Excel file, and explain, okay, I need this, and that. That's it. Let's jump to next item, execute value. I call it execute as a pattern, every action. Sorry, one moment. I will pour water. So The concept I'm using usually, I'm trying to execute my every action as a pattern, so I can reuse this, and I'm with purpose to be very clear on that this action will be useful for me personally. Here's a life case, for example, puzzle. I call it puzzle games with child. That's my son, 5 years child, 5 years son, Nikita, and we are often playing with him in puzzle games. So we are collecting puzzles, assembles puzzles, and if you look at the right side of this, you can see this photo with him. We see common pile of puzzles. We see, I call it flat side puzzles pile. That is, puzzles with one or two sides as flat or plain sides. And I put here arrow flat side puzzles connected. And the way of we are playing with him in these puzzles, that I was just thinking before that how we can play in that game to improve his experience in assembling the puzzles in the most efficient and simplest way, and at the same time to create a pattern. And I just analyzed, okay, we have two types of puzzles, flat side puzzle and curved puzzle. And if you look at the right side, I put here a note like there is not just one time action, but this is a long-term pattern for playing puzzles, because I think a lot of us who have children buying these puzzles and playing them, and I just decided we should play it in an effective way. We will do border or this flat side puzzles first, only then puzzles in center. Why? Because it's so I just analyzed and understand that for my child, and I think for all children, it's much simpler, more simpler to process image object linking. I call it image objects linking of flat side puzzles rather than curve puzzle where all sides are like curves. And this puzzle item with one or two flat sides is much easier to assemble and find, and it could be done much faster than curve puzzle, and especially for child 5 years old. That is about pattern. So I've created pattern for my child, and the nice or funny outcome of that my 5 years old son assembles now puzzles. Right now he assembles puzzles of 100 or 150 items, almost twice faster than my 12 years old son. Because with my 12 years old son, I do not play these games for sure. He's playing Fortnite. Yeah. And regarding explanation, what I would say, you can think in the way, do it like you plan it to do million times. And what if each output or outcome, each action will bring you $1? Do you need $1 million with the right pattern, or some, I don't know, 50 hundreds of dollars, or just do it without any pattern? And that is my way of working, thinking, and living. I do not start doing something that I will then throw in the trash. Each action I'm trying to transform in a reusable pattern. And here's a business case. Business case, I call it activity breakdown pattern and actionable items. You can see that this is something similar we discussed, I've explained earlier regarding how I structure my everyday tasks. Yes, it is the same. And that is why I call it execute as a pattern. I've created one pattern and I'm using, of course, here we have some statuses in colored, but I do not include them. And I've applied this pattern to different type of activities. activities. For example, I'm applying this not only my everyday task, but okay, I have pre-sales project. I plan here. What actions should I do? And by the way, oh, interesting. It's pre-sales example, and even regarding the very first slides, I've shown like practical entertainment. I asked, what should you do if you lost your solution architect in the first day of pre-sales project? And that was, I assume, the same pattern for action items I should execute, because I see solution architect under question. We lost him and we need to find him. Or, for example, I'm using this pattern of structuring my action items in valuable chunks and chunks that the actions that I can execute and I'm clear about, like preparation for assessment example. Assessment is like in our company process when you're planning move from one position, for example, from senior BA to lead BA, or from BA to senior BA. Also, I'm structuring it. And yeah, so main purpose here is that there is not just a set of actions when I'm creating something. I'm trying to reuse existing pattern or reuse current pattern. For example, I'm calling activity breakdown pattern. Next one, value is value your time for your every action. And yeah, we all understand that, I'm sure we all understand that time is very important for every one of us, and especially in our work. And here's an example of life case I have with Lego bricks. I'm again applying to my 5 years old son. So I'm just thinking, okay, if we have a pile of Lego bricks and I'm asking, okay, please assemble, compile this fire machine, this machine, Lego machine, from this pile on the left. Okay, my son need X minutes or X hours to create this car with Lego bricks with this pile. But if we will divide this one pile into 3 by color or by length or by type, whatever. So, for example, here we divided it into 3 piles, black, white, and red. And yeah, he needs X minutes divided by 3 less time to find Lego brick for this scenario. And that is how I am applying pattern and value, pattern of work with value, again, sorry for term value your time. My explanation is that only time is the main thing in our life we should care about, at least for work, for example. For me, it's important because we all understand this, that for us is quite important work-life balance. And what about actions on our everyday life, on the work, for example, or not on the work? We understand that, I understand at least, that I have 2 types of actions I want to do and I need to do in my everyday life, regardless work or not work. And what I want to do, that is leisure for me. And what I need to do, that is not leisure for me, but it needs to be done. And I think if I ask you what you want to be completed in the fastest way, I'm sure you'll answer like, yeah, we need to do type of actions to be completed very fast, in a fast way, so I can spend more time for leisure. And time planned for time always should be analyzed to increase value for time that you are spending on something, and also to be analyzed to remove any bottlenecks that you can face with while you are executing some actions in any aspects of your life and work as well. Here's a business case. Call it one task planning and execution. Also, the purpose that I'm putting on the slides these exact examples just to highlight to you, and for me it could be, I would say that is really useful, that later on you can download this presentation, just check and refresh for yourself these concepts. And that is a real practical tasks. The benefit that I'm planning and executing tasks in such way that, as I mentioned, I have all tasks tracked in my Microsoft Outlook. So I've just took these tasks, this task that was executed maybe half a year ago and put in this slide. And here's the scenario. One business analyst from my team came to me and said, Misha, I have a concern that I'm wasting 1 hour to prepare meeting notes and for you, for customer, and that is really my concern. What should we do? And I just said, okay, let's schedule a 15 minutes meeting or 30 minutes, I can't remember, and see what you have and what are your concerns and why you are spending 1 hour. And what you see after the B point, it all was created me during our discussion. And I just said, okay, please enumerate to me what items do you have in your list that you're spending 1 hour for. And business analyst said, okay, I have to review previous meeting notes. Then I need to check my personal document for open action items. Then I need to check some open action items with development team and ask questions and so on. Then I check mails from developers. And in red square, you can see current estimations at 1 hour spent every day or day by day once meeting had a place with customer. And in bold, you can see my outcomes of that. I just said, okay, how much time do you spend on this activity? 30 minutes. Okay, why should you do this? Outcome of this could be 0 minutes because you can use solution for this A as number 2 solution. So if you are reviewing some previous mails and analyzing meeting notes, you can just add action items to your next meetings if these are ongoing iterative meetings each Monday, each second day, and so on. And that way you don't need to spend time on this. And we just get outcome 0 minutes. Then you're checking your internal planning, your internal plan for activities. And for meeting notes, and you're spending 10 minutes. Why? You can just go open meeting request for next meeting and check what open action items you have and spend it 2 minutes. We go through all items, and in fact, we reduce time from 1 hour to 6 or 7 minutes as future state. So you can see this significantly reduced time for execution of this task, like prepare and meeting notes. And that is the value that I'm always applying to myself and saying to my colleagues: value your time. Just do not do work like, okay, I need to do this. Structure and see purpose of your work. Get current timeline that you have, eliminate waste, and plan it as a pattern. Actually, that's it. I think we go through all, let me check. Yeah, we go through all 5 values. And I hope it was useful, that it was interesting for you, and you will apply any of them, or at least you'll think about it. What is the next? For this, philosophy type of article I've selected or a speech or like that is not some defined methodology and so on. That is my that is just item or as I call it, the mindset or algorithm I'm sharing with audience. There are a lot of business scenarios can be discussed. But what is the next? Next, how to start and with using that. And there I would propose to select and use one area of application or use of this approach or mindset. For example, okay, just decide everyone want to be faster in their or could plan to be faster in their work life. And also we can imagine patterns like I want to be more productive, like execute in a X minutes task with twice efficiently, then I will execute it in 30 minutes. Or I will be flexible, like I want to work on this day, I want to allow to myself to work 2 hours on this Friday without any impact to my work tasks. And on the next slides, I wanted to produce, on the next couple of slides, I wanted to bring a couple of concepts and patterns for area of users faster. Usually that was what I've started with during while I was starting my business analyst career, and I just thinking, okay, what is the difference between me and other analysts, business analysts, and I want to be what? And I decided I want to be faster than everyone. At least try to achieve this result. And if you're talking about to be faster patterns examples for life case, we already highlighted Lego bricks example, and let's jump to business scenarios. And for business patterns, I have a couple to highlight. Even we already discussed also that impact timeline. That is, for example, pattern for simple or short time horizon, like everyday activity or a 5 to 25 minutes activity, and I call it proactive planning pattern example. What I'm doing here, every day we all came to work in business analyst activities or our work as usual before coronavirus, and we are checking. So my usual days, I'm checking tasks, and I'm opening my laptop, I'm checking tasks, planning what I need to do. I already showed this example in previous slide, but what I've decided before that can be done, like proactive planning. What if while I'm going to work, I have free time? Yeah, I can spend it to my personal growth, but also I can spend it to check my Outlook mail on my smartphone, just for example. And before opening my laptop at my workplace, I am checking my tasks and just swiping it to the left or right to mark it as already read or mark it as flagged. And for example, mails that I think or I know that I need to work on or consider my daily plan, I mark it as I flag these mails, and other I will just make as a read. In that way, when I come to my office, open laptop, one of course my everyday task is open laptop, open Microsoft Outlook and check mails. In that way, what I am presenting now, like proactive planning, I do not spend any minute to check my Outlook mails. I'm just opening exactly my tasks because all flagged mails moved automatically to my tasks list in Microsoft Outlook. In that way, for example, if I spend 10-15 minutes to read each mail and select most important, and if I am doing this task during I'm walking to my office, per week I can save, for example, about 60 minutes or in other words, 1 hour, and can use this time for my own needs or urgent work tasks. For example, I'm just going to my work on Friday. I understand, okay, I have 1 hour that I saved due to this activity. 1 hour I can, if I'm working till 6 p.m., I can go to home 5 p.m. That is straightforward example, but just to like analogy. And another example, like more complex or midterm, weeks, months, horizon pattern, that is responsibility distribution pattern. Yeah, we already checked and I've explained this pattern when I'm structuring my tasks list and assigning it to particular persons. And that could have a really great outcome because that could be time waste when you need to analyze or you not to analyze, but if you are starting the task that should not be started by you, or in fact someone already started this task or was aware of specific or has domain knowledge of this task. And here you can save your time. You can understand at first from whom or who should execute, can, or have to execute these action items, and one action, in other words, what action items should not be done by you and can be delegated to someone else. And an example on this slide 10, like I showed to you, here, I never put my attention to this number 3 and number 7 because I already know that one person is already working for my team on this task. And my recommendation is to be faster. First of all, value your time for you personally. Yeah, that is one of value of this mindset I call patterns of work. And apply practical section recommendations that I put in business cases. And apply all values. I would recommend to apply all values together, and you can see that I usually business cases I was explaining touch all these values. Like, I'm saying, okay, here I'm structuring my list of tasks. At the same time, I feel myself holistically clear and calm regarding what I'm planning. At the same time, I'm analyzing what will be the most efficient way to save my time and what will be the best way to execute these actions as a pattern. And what I would recommend very first, because faster always correlates to time term, and that is my real experience and my way of working when I just decided, okay, I want to start analyzing how useful time I'm spending on my work, and I'm start tracking, like every task. You can see this real example from my work, but that is just example for this. For 2019, I've prepared to show to you, and I just put total work. I've added column total work. Microsoft Outlook allows this. That is not advertisement for sure for Microsoft Outlook, but that is a really great tool. And I put total work column, and I've added every time I've added just number of time I've spent on the task. It takes not more than 10-15 minutes. Sorry, 10-15 seconds maximum to understand how much time I spent for that task, and so on. But at the end of each day, I've analyzed was all tasks useful, and could something be excluded from this list, or spend less time, and so on? Because, for example, if I was planning 8 hours for my working days, my ideal working day is 4 hours per day. And here's the value of this approach, that you can see time you spend on all tasks, and you can manage this information in the way like how to rearrange tasks, how to reduce time, why this task took so much time, if you just sit and think about that. So almost very final slide is a takeaway. Takeaway even not regarding again what should be started, what you should start with, or you want or you do not want, but like if you think it is interesting, what should be the prerequisites of that? I put here 3 items. Understand yourself, like, think, do you really need this? Because, for example, for me, I understand I need this, and I want to feel myself that I'm working efficiently, productive, and in time-saving mode. If not, just forget about that. Also commit yourself. That is also important concept. If you're deciding something to do, just or do it fully, comprehensively, or holistically, or 360 degrees point of view on everything what you plan to do, not just in parts. And contribute yourself. That is for me is also very useful approach. If you get any challenges from anyone with the word yes, I'm ready to do that, that always leads you to great results. That is my personal experience. I think that's it. Some teasers to meet again. Like I shortly told about how to be faster. Number 8, I'm using the infinitive to create this, to achieve this result and to make it better and better. So other teasers, like we can discuss how to be productive and increase your value twice, like I said, for example, for each minute of your time, or be flexible, like about your workload, and more business cases, practical case studies, and type of patterns. And at the very end, I would just highlight that all the things I've enumerated here in all slides, that is not just how I would recommend and I was trying to do. That is a real experience in my way of working, my way of thinking, and I already got early results that I'm very satisfied with. For example, in the end of 2019, some point of time, I was involved in my company in tons of activities like UAT phase for project with a really big greenfield project as lead BA. I was at the same time mentor for several mentoring programs, in total 6 mentees, and I was completing this discovery framework I mentioned, technical interviews, internal BA assessments, and I was helping to create great business analysis competency skills matrix, was participating in a social project, and at the same time, there was no problem for me just, on Friday, wake up and say, okay, at 2 p.m. today, I will go with my family to the park. And that's it, with no any impact to my working activities. I think that's it. I see, you're almost out of time, and it was expected by me. It's really, for me, it's like long topic. Regarding our practical entertainment solution, we can look at what answers were provided, and also the real solution that I was executed for this particular scenario. So if we refresh our memory with what was this practical entertainment, we were talking about pre-sales project that just started, and you just business analyst. In my world, business analyst always a person who aggregates, orchestrates all activities within any project. And you was asked to prepare this draft pre-sales deck, and you acknowledge that, oh, we do not have any more sales solution architect. What should we do? So, in fact, after applying all these values, I had quite simple solution. On the next morning, once this issue was raised, I just think, okay, I need to apply the fastest way that should be the easiest. And yeah, I have some solution architects that I already worked with, and I just go to coffee break in my our coffee area where we can take a coffee or water, something like this. I find this guy, great guy, and I say, okay, I need you on this pre-sales activity, and I convinced him to join this pre-sales project, and it all takes 10 minutes of my coffee time, in fact, instead of a lot of other options, like, you can ask your project manager, please, we need solution architect to complete this deck, and it will take 1 week, additional week to find this person, officially assign it, and so on for this pre-sales project. That's it. Thank you, everyone. I think we can have question and answer session now. We have 7 minutes left.
Yes, thank you very much for your really interesting insights and real life examples. So our most voted question for now is from Anna. She's asking how you actually pack your working day into 5 hours, because so far it just feels like we actually have to pack 36 hours work into 12 hours of work in personal time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you have a quick answer for that, please go ahead. Other than that, we have about 10 more questions. So let's try to catch with as many as we can.
Regarding this question, I am, last time on assessment or even on some management meeting, I had something similar, a project management meeting, I had something similar situation. And in short answer to that, as I usually answer to any people, any person, is that you're executing your task and you need more than 8 hours, for example, per day for your work activities, and you can say that I'm overloaded only in 2 ways. First way, only in 2 cases. First case, that you are planning your work not efficiently. I mean, it's a little bit maybe not very tolerant, but like what concept I presented, you're not planning it, you're not planning, you're not structuring, you're not analyzing outcome. So 2 cases. First case, you need to reanalyze your everyday activities. Second case, second item, I was saying that either that is incorrect management. I mean, because we always have 2 situations. First one, that you are executing your own task and someone delegate to you tasks. And other way, so you are delegating tasks to someone. And there are only 2 possible options. Either you're planning your day in not very efficient way, or someone planning your day in a not very efficient way. And you need to just understand if it's some tasks, for example, like, okay, you're executing task, it takes 8 hours, you think, okay, I can analyze outcomes, my structure, make some improvements and do it in 4 days. but then someone came to you from upper level and said, okay, here I get additional 10 tasks, and you understand, okay, you're overloaded for 36 hours per day to complete all this, and everyone around you, every management says, it's very important, you should analyze it. But you know, it's like example from my real case study when on the very final 50 million contract delivery UAT phase, sales representative came to me during UAT phase and said, you know, you were executing this project, this delivery during the last year, and you missed this field. This is this is not applicable for us. You need to fix it. But that was very final stage. And you have several options like, oh, okay, we will fix it we need for that 2 weeks. We will fix it, of course, because we are fully collaborative with customer. Instead of that, I've just said, stop, please. Invite your sales manager, invite product owner, invite any person you need. I want to ask question. And then I just ask simple question. Why do you need this field? And no one from sales managers, from product owners, from this sales representative cannot answer to me. They just said, we do not know, we are using this field for 10 years. I said, okay, let's remove it. That's it. It took 5 minutes of discussion. That's it, we solved it. And that is the way one of concept values I'm providing here, that before make any decisions, when manager, someone asks you, please do that, or you have this backlog, you need to complete it in 1 week, and you have hundreds of tasks, you understand that you should work 24 hours per day to complete this. At first, do not start these tasks. Analyze why should you do that, and what value it will give to you, to project, to your management. Maybe the simplest solution could be just return back to your manager and say, we need to assign additional 2 more BAs, otherwise we cannot complete that, and I do not want to work on that 16 hours. But that is a long topic, and usually my practice, you know, like I present experience with my business analyst from my team, I just set up meeting and said, okay, put here exact actions that you are wasting a lot of time and you're concerned about, and I will solve it. I understood that this question is more, you know, generic, like how to solve this action, and I just provided just ways of solving it, but real situation should be solved with real inputs.
All right, as we only have about 2 minutes left, I want to thank you again, Misha, for sharing your insights. And thank you very much, everyone who posted questions. We will get back to you either in person, or please continue the discussion in the links that I've posted on the Communities Ad platform. Thank you very much. Hope this was useful and your day will become even more efficient today. And yeah, let's continue the discussion on the Communities Ad platform. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Have a nice rest of the day. Bye-bye.